And now the law's changed significantly. I can no longer, if I could put 10% fault on you, I could recover 10% of my client's damages for them. And so sometimes there were, cases where it's worth doing that for our client. Now, if you are, more than 50% at fault for a crash, you cannot recover anything. So you have to have the threshold come in at, at 50% or less.
So you got to be under 50%. So it has to be more their fault than your fault.
Correct.
Just for the layman, right?
Just to even make it worth moving forward on a case, and so that changed things a lot 2 years ago. I think that changes probably for the better because those cases where somebody's a majority at fault for the crash, they probably should not be able to recover. And so I think that was probably a good change, but important to know. You can't rear-end somebody and recover unless there's some really strong facts in your favor.
Right. So, and then is that something that you were able to argue with the as far as liability? You're able to argue that with the insurance. It's not. Does the officer just decide it when they come on scene? Talk about that a little bit, because people say, well, on the report he wrote it was my fault, but I don't. That's not the all and be all, right?
Many cases I have that are he said, she said situations.
Right.
You've got person on one side saying I had the green light, person on the other side saying the same thing.
Right.
Police make a snap decision at the scene. They just want to get out of there, to be totally honest, unless
Right.
there's really severe injuries.
I get it.
And so, that's what they do. They're going to put somebody as vehicle one. Vehicle one's the at-fault vehicle. Person one's the at-fault driver. On that driver exchange they give you at the scene, insurance companies will then make decisions based on that, in addition to statements from the parties. And so, if you are put as vehicle one and it was not your fault, you should get a lawyer early so you can prove that. It enables me to get out things like 911 requests, which disappear. Those tapes disappear after a while. Body cam, dash cam, different things. Go out to the scene, get a local business video. It's important for me to have that case early, because if that client calls me 6 months down the road, it might be too late to go gather that evidence.
Right, but it definitely helps if they write that you're not at fault, right? It's just one more factor to argue for you. Right?
One less thing to fight with the insurance company about, and makes it much less likely you'll end up in a lawsuit, because the main goal of all this is to get your case done without having to file a lawsuit. I don't want to put clients through litigation if we don't have to. It's much more convenient for them to have their case done, in 6 or 8 months without a lawsuit.
Right, but like the major thing that I wanted to come out of this is that people understand that so many things have to happen for this to happen. It can't just
Absolutely.
be, I went into the supermarket and I slipped. Okay, are you hurt?
It
Well,
is
I'm
not
all right.
that simple, correct?
Well, I'm all right. What do you mean? I mean, you hurt? Well, I kind of, like, my head hurts a little bit from the fall. No, I have a headache. Like, all right, well, you're gonna evaluate that. It's not something that's gonna go very far, right?